Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with another Worth of Purchase where I play a game for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself. Today I'm taking a look at Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. It is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. And for the record, for this video, I played the Nintendo Switch 2 edition on the Nintendo Switch 2, of course. Now this is Physical Paradise and I only care about physical video games, and this does have a physical release and it's very interesting. I will detail all of that later in the video, but first, what is the game? Well, it is a remake of Harvest Moon DS Grand Bazaar, back when the franchise was still called Harvest Moon. I have not played that version, but reviews for it were pretty middling. However, I can say that I'm pretty sure reviews for this are going to be pretty good, because after 13 hours or so at this point, I am really enjoying it. It's a farming live sim from the OG franchise of the genre. I don't really need to get into the nitty-gritty because you all know what it involves. If you've played a Story of Seasons or Harvest Moon game before, you've played something very, very similar to this. But for me, Grand Bazaar does stand out very nicely. Yeah, you've got your farming, you've got your bribing, you've got your animal husbandry. The basics are here, you all know about that. However, Grand Bazaar adds something different, the eponymous Grand Bazaar. Instead of adding all your eggs, your milk and your turnips to a shipping box every morning, you'll want to hoard all of your items or produce for the week, because every Saturday there is a Grand Bazaar. This is where you lay out all your goods and try to sell them, ringing a bell, trying to get the punter's attention, and frantically accepting money while also trying to keep stock on the tables. It adds a lovely piece of energy to the whole game, and the week really builds up nicely to this event. Rather than just selling raw materials, you are incentivized to make produce using those materials like butter, mayo, perfume, because these will get higher profits at the market, and you use the windmills around town to help with this. And so that's kind of what you're doing throughout the week. You are always preparing for the weekend. You always want to do bigger and better than before, and there is a bit of pressure because the better you do, the more the town and the bazaar will grow. The more stalls will open and you'll rank up, and it is very, very satisfying and addictive. But every couple of weeks there's also some mini events to add variety, like the Flower Festival, the Honey Festival, a pet show and so on. These tend to happen on Wednesdays and they break up the game nicely. I've been very impressed by the flow of progress too. The way your farm opens up, where more shops come in, more places to go, more abilities like the double jump, the stat upgrades, the glider, the tools. There seems to be a really nice balance and the game keeps wanting to give you more. Initially, it feels like one of the smaller games in the franchise, but it starts to open up the more you play, and it's not long before you're surprised at how big this game actually is. There's always something more to see, something to do, something to accomplish. I don't have to talk much about the farming or the animals, since this is by the books really. Like, they work, they're good, they're tried and they're tested. You'll find nothing remarkable here about that. However, there is one thing in Grand Bazaar that it is slightly weak at, and that is the romance options. Maybe it's just where I'm at in my life, but this aspect just didn't interest me at all in this entry. It could entirely be that I'm a 35-year-old dude with a family. That means this side of the game just doesn't appeal to me as much as it used to, compared to when I was a younger teenager with A Wonderful Life on GameCube. But I do think, aside from that one goth girl, everyone seems kind of bland. I don't know if it's because they're stretched too thin with so many candidates, or there are just so many games into the franchise, it's hard to keep coming up with interesting people. I mean, I played As Your Dreams like a year or so back, still love the relationship aspect of that game, so it can't entirely be because it's not for me anymore. I do think it is a slight weak point of this release. But I'll still fully admit, even though I had no intention of getting cooties from any of the people in this game, it was still enjoyable learning about them through unique cutscenes that you get when you rank up your relationship. And that is very easy to do in this game, maybe too easy, I don't know. I remember fruitlessly trying to marry Nami, was her name, in A Wonderful Life. I just never did it, but everyone here seems just like really easy to do. That's just a modern gaming thing though, but it would be nice to work for the reward. Although saying that, I'm only halfway through the first year, so maybe some of them will have a big hurdle later on. It's entirely possible. The presentation specifically on Switch 2 is great. It looks great, and the music, oh my god, it is absolutely fantastic. It almost seems unfitting because the music is so good for this game. Now, before I get into the physical details, if you are new here and you enjoy physical video games, hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise. And not only will you get all the good physical news, updates, alerts, opinions, you'll also be doing the industry a favor too. Because let's face it, the bigger this channel is, the channel dedicated to physical video games, the more publishers may pay attention to the demand for physical media. So do your bit and subscribe. So the physical release for this is quite simple. If you check the links down below in the description and pinned comment, you'll see that there is a physical release for this on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. There is a standard edition for both consoles and also a collector's edition, which I think is technically the first collector's edition for a Nintendo Switch 2 game. This collector's edition contains the soundtrack CD, which is great, as I mentioned. It has a 115-page art book, a cloth poster, and the ever-compulsory sheep plush. It is worth emphasizing that the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is a proper cartridge. Sure, there may be the usual patches / updates in the future, but the game is on the cartridge. There is no download required. This makes it just the 10th proper physical release on Nintendo Switch 2. And hopefully Marvelous, the publisher, are rewarded for not going the cheap route. They did a proper cartridge with Guardians of Azuma, they're doing it here, and they will do the same with Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion. It's risky for them, and it would be nice for them to continue with this practice if it is a success. And it deserves to be, since this is a really nice game. If you want to buy it, please do so via the links below. Any purchase made via those links is the best way to support me and this channel in the most awesome way possible. If you want a North American copy, you can grab from VGP, who have free worldwide shipping on this, or PMP Games, who have free shipping to the US and Canada. If you're in the UK, you can grab it from my link at shop2.net. Would I buy this myself? Yes, I would. I've dabbled in a few, but not all of the Story of Seasons games on the Switch, and Lord knows if I could tell you which was which. Always super solid games, but the series has started to feel very safe. This one feels better instantly. It feels fresh. Of course, the scope is still quite simple, but I'm very much enjoying my time with it, and this will remain in my memory a lot longer than the others. Like, if you say Grand Bazaar, I know exactly which one you're referring to. It stands out, which is what the series needs right now in my opinion. I liked it way more than I thought I would. How about you? Will you be buying this? Or are you all Story of Seasoned out? Or are you ready for more? And most of all, will you be buying the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 physical release? If you want either of them, you can purchase via the link below in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out so much. And of course, subscribe. And of course, have a fantastic day. Take care.